Focus on yourself and stay silent in 2026. This year will quietly break a lot of people, not because they are weak, but because they still talk too much, explain too much, compare too much. They waste energy staring at other people's lives while their own life sits in the background unfinished. If you walk into 2026 with the same noise, the same distractions, and the same need to be seen, you will end up like most people, tired, unfocused, and secretly resentful. But if you stay with me until the end of this video, you will discover 10 habits that the 1% use to protect their mind, guard their silence, and move forward while everyone else is just watching. This message is not for everyone. It is for the few who are ready to stop performing for the world and start rebuilding themselves in silence. The ancient Stoics lived in a world full of chaos, politics, and uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius carried an empire on his shoulders. Epictetus had been a slave, yet they all came back to the same simple truth. You cannot control the world, but you can control your mind, your attitude, and your actions. Stoicism is not about pretending you don't feel. It is about refusing to be ruled by what you feel. In a time where everyone wants to talk, react, and appear, real power belongs to the ones who lower the external noise and strengthen their internal discipline. That is what 2026 can become for you if you decide to live differently. Habit 1. Stay silent because not everyone deserves access to your process. Talking too much has already cost you more than you admit. It has cost you respect, peace, and focus. Think about how many times you shared a plan with excitement and got back awkward silence, sarcasm, or a fake smile. In that moment, you shrank inside and thought, "I shouldn't have said anything." And you were right. Not everyone wants you to grow. Some just want to know where you are so they can measure you, compare themselves, or talk about you when you're not there. Marcus Aurelius did not write to show the world how wise he was. He wrote to avoid losing himself. A Stoic understands that your mind and your process are not a public square. They are restricted territory. In 2026, talk less about what you are doing, planning, or changing. Work in silence and let your results make the noise your mouth no longer needs to make. Habit 2. Focus on yourself because no one will live your life for you. There is a hard truth. No one thinks about you as much as you imagine. Everyone is fighting with their own fears, problems, and frustrations. And yet you wake up, open your phone, and in a few minutes you already feel behind, less, late, just because you compared your backstage to someone else's highlight reel. It is not that your life is terrible, it is that you are looking at the wrong life at the wrong time. Stoicism is simple and direct. Stop spending energy trying to control what others do, and use that energy to decide who you are becoming. Marcus Aurelius did not write, "What are they doing?" but "What do I have to do today to act according to my principles?" Machiavelli understood that the one who is too distracted observing others loses advantage. In 2026, the person who stays busy with their own growth moves forward. The one who stays busy watching others just watches. Habit 3. Learn to endure solitude. That is where your real strength is forged. There comes a moment when the noise fades. Fewer messages, fewer invitations, fewer people calling your name. It hurts because before you were always in the middle, always available, always needed. Now the silent phone feels like a verdict. But many times you are not alone because you failed. You are alone because you stepped out of the role others expected from you. You were taught to fill every empty space with people, conversations, and distractions, so you never have to face your own thoughts. The Stoic does the opposite. He uses solitude as a laboratory. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, but the decisive battles happened inside his head when he wrote, reflected, and adjusted himself. Machiavelli knew that power is strengthened in strategic isolation. Those who need company all the time grow weaker. Those who can stand being alone gain clarity and independence. If you go through this season of solitude in 2026 without running back to any random company just to avoid yourself, you will come out more solid, more selective, and much harder to manipulate. Habit 4. Control your emotions, because the one who reacts loses. Many times it was not the world that knocked you down, it was your reaction. That argument that stole your sleep, that long angry voice message, that post you regret until today, none of that was clarity, it was impulse. Emotions do not analyze, they explode. Stoicism insists on a firm idea. It is not the event itself that destroys you, it is the way you choose to respond to it. Life will poke your insecurities. People will test your limits. The system will press every button it can. Machiavelli observed that if you can make the other person lose control, you already dominate them. In 2026, your challenge is not to hand that control over so easily. Do not answer at the peak of anger. Do not make big decisions under emotional attack. Do not expose every part of yourself while you are still wounded. Breathe, step back a little, observe, and only then decide what to do. Emotional silence is not weakness, it is advanced strategy. If this is making sense to you so far, that already shows you are not just looking for inspiration, but for growth. Take this moment and subscribe to DVT Lucas Official. Turn on the notifications and turn this kind of reflection into a habit. It is not about collecting inspirational quotes, it is about training your mind daily to protect your inner peace and grow in maturity. Habit 5. Practice discipline when no one is watching. That is where the future is decided. What you do when nobody sees you is what builds or destroys the person you will be in a few years. Most people don't fail because they lack opportunities, but because they lack consistency. They start full of energy, make big promises, tell everyone their goals, but when tiredness comes, motivation fades, and there is no audience, they quit quietly. A Stoic doesn't wait for the right mood, he is guided by what is right. Marcus Aurelius did not write, "Do what feels good," he wrote, "Do what needs to be done." Machiavelli saw that most people only change when necessity forces them. Very few change because of awareness. That is why discipline is such a powerful advantage. In 2026, instead of chasing a new wave of motivation every day, build small daily habits. Study a little, move your body a little, organize a little. Keep the promises you made to yourself. The one who is intense for a week lies to himself. The one who is consistent for months transforms. Habit 6. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. Respect is not begged for, it is established by posture. You have spent more energy trying to justify yourself than actually correcting what needed correcting. Every time you made a decision for your own good, set a boundary, stepped away from what was hurting you, and then felt the urge to say, "It's not what it looks like, let me explain." You gave up ground. A Stoic knows his life is not a committee. Marcus Aurelius was not running around writing to convince everyone that his decisions were right. He tried to act in line with his values and move on. Machiavelli understood that the one who constantly justifies everything puts themselves in an inferior position. When you explain too much, you invite others to judge, to interfere, and to cross lines. In 2026, choose a different pattern. Decide, communicate what is necessary, and stand firm. Not everyone deserves context. Not everyone deserves details. Not everyone deserves an answer. In many cases, no and silence are enough. Habit 7. Align thought, word, and action. Intention alone changes nothing. Today, we worship intention. I want to improve. I'm thinking about changing. I have so many plans. But a plan without action is just fantasy. A Stoic does not fall in love with the ideas in his head. He measures himself by what he does with them. You can fill notebooks with goals, watch videos, consume content about discipline, but if your routine does not change, your life does not change. In 2026, the real question is not what do you want, but what are you willing to do every single day for that? Machiavelli observed that luck tends to favor those who are prepared and in motion, not those who just wait. So instead of repeating, "One day it will get better," start adjusting small things. The time you go to bed, what you consume, who you spend time with, how you organize your money and your energy. Peace does not come only from believing in something. It comes from acting in line with what you say you believe. Habit 8. Learn to say no without guilt. Every forced yes is a small betrayal of yourself. You are not exhausted only because of what you do, but because of everything you agree to against your own will. You say yes to commitments you do not want, listen to venting that drains you, solve problems that are not yours, rearrange your entire schedule so no one gets upset. Then you wonder why nobody takes care of you. The truth is, you taught people to have you always available. A Stoic understands that time and energy are finite, precious resources. Machiavelli saw that the person who is always accessible loses value. In 2026, you need fewer excuses and more boundaries. Saying, "I can't," "I don't want to," "not now," does not make you a bad person. It makes you an honest one. Whoever gets offended by your limit was never really worried about your well-being, only about your availability. Habit 9. Use pain as fuel, not as identity. Pain is inevitable. Rejection, loss, disappointment, failure. Everyone goes through it, but not everyone does the same thing with it. Some turn their story into a prison. I am like this because of what happened to me. Others use what happened as a turning point. A Stoic does not stay stuck at "why did this happen to me?" He moves toward "what will I do with this now?" Machiavelli saw adversity as both a test and an opportunity to strengthen character. What did not break you can make you more aware, more firm with what harms you, and more selective with who you allow close. In 2026, you do not need to deny your pain, but you must stop living inside it. Acknowledge it, learn from it, create new boundaries, and move forward. Habit 10. Become unrecognizable. Real transformation does not ask for attention, it demands it. True change is not a show, it is daily construction. It starts in quiet decisions. Not replying, not insisting, not going back, not explaining, not distracting yourself. One day you notice you no longer react like before. You no longer chase those who do not want you around. You no longer try to prove your worth to people who refuse to see it. Marcus Aurelius wrote that it is a waste of time to argue about what a good person should be. The point is to be one. That is what makes you unrecognizable to those who only knew your older version. Some will find your silence strange. Others will call your focus coldness. Others will walk away because they can no longer benefit from your weaker self. That's fine. In 2026, less noise, less automatic reaction, less need for approval, more focus, more silence, more truth. If you made it all the way here, that already puts you in a small group. People who do not run away from reflection and don't quit halfway. If this video helped you, subscribe to DVT Lucas Official and turn on the notifications. With every new content, you reinforce the habit of protecting your inner peace and growing in maturity, one step at a time. Share this video with someone who needs less noise and more direction, even if they never say it out loud. And if you're truly committed to making 2026 a different year, write in the comments, "focused and silent in 2026. Let that sentence be your daily reminder that from today on, you choose to protect your focus, honor your silence, and become someone your old self would barely recognize.